Welcome to a video I'm very excited to share with you because my good friend Dinos and I were experimenting with concrete. So, armed with my drink of choice and refueled with a lunch of my first time having sushi, we embarked on the process of making a concrete slab planting for a mixed bonsai forest. This is my first attempt at anything like this, so I'm more than happy to share my experiences, the good and the bad. I'm showing you the pictures of how it all started, but then Dinos is going to take over and show us how he got all of those lovely textures after the slab was actually planted. Here's an example by my friend Steve of one he made with fiberglass, going for a similar sort of thing but with concrete. So these pictures will give you a very good idea of how we did it, setting out the mesh and playing around with the edges, the textures and things like that. But the real artistry came from Dinos in these pictures following. This is all the texture work that kind of came after. So I'm going to hand you over to Dinos for a good 5 minutes or so, and he's going to show us how he actually put this together. And then I'm going to come back and plant it up with you guys. And here we have the finished product. So we are in the middle of repotting season, but this definitely has to skip to the front of the queue. The larch that I want to use for this is already pretty much awake, and the other stuff will be joining it soon. So I think it's time we waste no time and get on with mocking up the forest. You know, always planned a mixed forest for this slab. Let's have a look at some of the detail. Dinos put a lot of work, a lot of time and effort into making this look exactly like I had in my mind, and he's done an excellent job. The texturing, I know he put a lot of time into the brushing and stuff, and it's come out just great. Really love the texture. The using the chicken wire that we were using as a reinforcement, you know, doubling that up as like a drainage mesh, I think that was quite a good idea. It seems to have worked out okay. Accidentally just about fits perfectly on the bench. So I'm going to go excitedly into the garden and grab the material that I planned to use, and we'll mock it up. Have a little look, shall we? So here's what I'm thinking. I've had this larch I bought from Chris Thomas last year, Bonsai by the Sea. There is a fairly chunky beech, which is a regular beech tree. That's Yamadori I collected probably 2 years ago now. These are also smaller Yamadori, younger oak trees. This is actually a tree I was given by my good friend Tim, and that is actually a copper beech, which, considering this is going to be a mixed forest, I think I'm willing to bend the rules and incorporate that into this planting somewhere. This tree was not gifted with the bestest, good English, with the best root base. So I'm thinking we can use this in a forest because it has some nice ramification. Tim's put a lot of years of work into that. So why can't we have sort of native species, right, like you would find, but then make it sort of bonsai and interesting with the copper beech and the larch, just for that extra diversity and interest. These are also sort of just collected seedlings from the woods, really. Oaks and beech, oak and beech in that. So they can be my little spares, fill in the gaps and kind of add to the randomness. But as a sort of main tree selection, as my sort of main character trees for this mixed forest, green beech, copper beech, and a larch in the middle, I think that's going to be pretty cool. So after some in-depth mentorship from John of Melucrian Designs, kind of helped me to realize that if we're going to use this big copper beech, it is actually its own tree. So we're going to go for almost a two-sided forest planting with light in the middle. Slight change of plan, but nothing too crazy. And there is something else I want to show you quickly. Now, I wanted to show you this. So when I say that this project's something I've been preparing for 12 months, this was my my miniature practice run, if you will. So this is actually a piece of slate, not a concrete slab, but it's a mixed forest, you know, with Scots and birch, hawthorn, hornbeam, little oak down here as well. And the main reason I wanted to practice this sort of thing first was because of the sort of muck wall. Instead of using traditional means of creating that, I actually used a mixture of clay and garden soil to create the wall in which retains the bonsai soil, and that's something I had no experience with. So I really just wanted to experiment and get some experience to see what would work and what didn't. Now this is over 12 months, well, it's coming up to, this is 12 months planted now. No erosion. I think the birds might have stolen some of the moss from this side, but if anything, that's only shown me that the actual muck wall itself will retain the soil. And yeah, this has been over a year now together, and so this year I'll be able to do a bit more with the branch structure and sorting it all out. But I just wanted to show that actually this is something I've been playing with for a while, and this is a smaller version of what we're about to do today. Just had to go in and get a coat because although it feels like spring, it's still very, very cold. So I thought I'd show you the ingredients. This is what I used last year, and it worked well on that small planting I just showed you. So this is underneath, this black is kind of garden soil, not quite a compost, but you know, just your regular kind of black garden soil, right? Holds quite a lot of moisture, isn't particularly sticky, but it's a good binding agent, I found. A little bit of recycled bonsai soil, you know, with your molar clay and just some like particles to kind of stick it together. This is just some sand. You could use all different kinds of sand. I just used what I had. And then this is the thicker, sticky clay type soil. And that's gonna be what really binds everything, sticks it together. So yeah, a bit of water and mix it all up. And then that is my sort of homemade, you know, muck alternative for sticking on the edge of the pot to keep everything in place, basically. So with that made, we can start to bare root and mock up the trees. So I think that's everything root worked, and kind of roughly in situ. It allows me to get an idea of where to put tie down wires and things. So there were a couple of these oaks that weren't quite as healthy as the others, even though they were collected at the same time. So those are going to sit out and have another year to recover. They may join at a later date. I may find something else to fill their gaps. But on these 2-year collected Yamadori, these are things, you know, from gardens or woods that I collect. And then this is an example. It's left alone for an entire year. No pruning, no nothing. So where it's chopped, this is all new growth. You have to allow it time to recover before you can use it for anything, whether it's a single tree or a forest. They need time, you know. 2 growing seasons is ideal, but if you can tell that it's healthy after 1, you know, complete year, you know, over 12 months really, then that's when I start to use the material I've collected. So you can't just collect stuff and put it in. You need to really look after it, get it healthy and recovered, and then you can use it. This is an interesting little oak back here. It has some really cool movement on it, and I'm debating potting it up as a separate tree, but I like the way it's kind of reaching for the light. So I'm gonna shove this in here somewhere, and it's gonna tell a story of a tree looking for the light. It'll make sense. It'll make sense. Right, next thing will be sort of getting tie down wires in place, and then really it'll be building the muck wall before any trees go in. Let's do it. So I believe that is all the tie downs we all need. If I need to add any, then it's going to be a bit of a procedure. But yeah, on the bigger trees, I've, you know, 2 cross down wires. On the smaller trees, that will go sort of like here. Just 1 will do. It's kind of a thicker, I don't know, 2 mil wire. Got one of those like huge rolls of it, and I'm actually nearly done. That's just from repotting and things like that. Yeah, so it's gonna be a reverse to how I did that small planting. On the small planting, I did the muck wall and then I put the trees in. This time I'm gonna do the trees first and the muck wall after. So next, the trees go in, I suppose. So I think I said on a previous video, I actually broke my tripod, which isn't a good enough reason to not have another one. But I haven't done that yet, so this is the best I can do for now. We're gonna do the copper beech together, but I'll do it in time lapse so you don't have to wait around for 5 minutes. So here's one example with crisscross tie down wires. That's not coming out now. So there's one tree in place. Let's do the rest, shall we? Would you believe I'm not done and it's already lunchtime? So I'm going to mist all of this with water and cover it with a wet cloth, and I'll be back to finish it soon. So all fine sprayed and very damp cloths just to keep it from drying out until I can get back and finish this. I've got something going on here quite cool I really want to show you guys, but I need to make it perfect before it's ready, so that's going to need to come apart and go back together a certain way. But yeah, very exciting stuff. Let's get it finished, shall we? Okay, we're back and it's now sunny, and I have drilled 2 drainage holes to put the right tree in the right place, because this is a planting worth doing properly. So let me just get that fixed up quick. So that's all the trees tied in. A little bit of feckling to do and some minor adjustments on these twin oaks at the bottom here. Yeah, really happy. I can actually just about spin it around here. So from the back, I added this little green beech here just to keep it an odd number, you know, just a head nod to tradition there, even though this planting very much does away with the traditions of a forest planting. But there we are, and I can still lift it. I've tried. So now I'm gonna build up, do my minor adjustments, build up the muck walls, and then we can start to fill in with some soil around, which can leave a lot of nice free area in the middle for root growth and things like that to start. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that so far. So this is the muck that we made earlier, and this is the kind of consistency that we want now. It will form a ball, hold its position. Yeah, that's pretty much ideal. Messy job, but quite fun. So here's an example of the muck wall. So what you do, hard to do one-handed, but you get an amount, form it into that sort of wall-like structure, and you press it on and you just simply mold it into place. If you find that the muck is sticking to the roots, you just spray it down with a bit of water. Other than that, it's quite simple. Very dirty work, but quite simple and fun. So yeah, I'm going to carry on and do the rest of the planting. So muck wall built. Still got some left, so I may thicken up some areas, but that is essentially it. And like I said, I try not to make videos anymore about something I have no experience in. This is one of those where I tried this method and it worked. I can't guarantee you'll have exactly the same results, but I have actually done this, you know, method before on a smaller scale, and it worked absolutely fine. So now it's going to be, yeah, fill in with bonsai soil really, and then moss the top, and we're going to be able to have a look at the forest for the first time. I think it's going to look best outside, don't you think? Okay, so that is soil done. I'm going to have to go and find some moss, I think. But I just want to make sure I've covered all 2 trees with the exposed roots still a little bit. Is the copper beech on this side still, you can see a little bit, and the larch has some root exposed. So those are definitely the areas I want the moss to grow. But if I can find enough, I'll fill it all. But yeah, we'll see. Moss is next. That is looking pretty good. People have made fun of me for this before, but a good way to keep your newly added moss from being stolen straight away is to make a little peg like this. And therefore with your newly added moss, you can simply peg it in place so that it has time to establish before a bird or a rodent comes and steals it. So yeah, just thought I would share that with you quickly as well. So as it turns out, there isn't enough moss in the garden to cover the whole thing, but the main problem areas that I'd like to keep moisture with are covered, and yeah, I'm happy with that. So I know where this is going to live in the garden. I think it's time to take it out there, place it and water it. So last thing, you're probably wondering, when is the first styling going to be? Because there's a lot of branches in the wrong places. Like I said, I've been planning this for over 12 months, so I'm not going to rush and stress these trees more than they already have been. First styling will be the middle of summer 2026. Stay tuned for that. Hope you enjoyed this one, guys. Huge thank you to Dinos for giving up his Sunday. Helped me make this first ever concrete slab. Hopefully some other concrete projects coming as a result of this, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. So big thank you to Dinos. Big thank you to you for watching. Wherever you are in the world, make sure you're taking care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. If you enjoy the videos and you'd like to support the channel, please consider following the links in the description. Here you'll find links to the Amazon wishlist. This is the best way to help the channel. Alternatively, you can buy these t-shirts. Please email or DM me to find out how you can get those. Lastly, the easiest way to help support the channel is drop a like on this video and please press the subscribe button. That would mean the world to me. Thank you so much.